Okay, and how do you respond to Ambassador Foley's claim, shared by all the people who signed the memo, that the ban is a betrayal of American values?
The ambassador is certainly entitled to his opinion on that. There are many, obviously it's very clear that this policy has many opponents, but fundamentally it's designed to try to keep the United States
Before we dive
safe.
in, hit that like button and subscribe to Congress Flash, the channel that brings you the raw truth from Capitol Hill without the media filters. Today's clip is one they really don't want you to see. A 33-year State Department professional just walked into a political ambush and walked out, leaving Ilhan Omar's entire narrative in pieces. You're about to see why. Let's get into it. What we just watched was a prime example of what happens when political theater collides with a man who's there to talk about facts, law, and actual process. Yeah. On one side, you've got...
Thank you, Chairwoman. Mr. Matowski, you've been with the State Department for 33 years, right?
Over 33 years, yes.
Oh, wonderful. Has it been typical for more than 100 people to sign dissent memos on a given policy?
That would be atypical, I think.
Atypical. Has it been typical for policy to drive several SOs to publicly resign in protest?
There have been Foreign Service officers who've resigned in the past over various policies. That's true.
In June of 2017, between the second and the third version of the Muslim ban, more than 100 diplomats signed a dissent memo that said, quote, banning travelers from these 7 countries calls back to some of the worst times in our history. Former consular officer Christopher Richards, who resigned in protest of the Muslim ban, said in an op-ed that the consular officers were not able to issue waivers on their own, that they had to get approval from the State Department. Would that be you? Do you give that approval?
No, that's not correct. The consular officers make the decision on the first 2 prongs of the waiver, national interest and undue hardship, and then the interagency security review provides the guidance on the security prong.
So that's not a decision you get to make, no. Or is the White House involved in that decision?
Not at all.
Okay. Sarah Gartner, another former FSO who resigned in protest over the Muslim ban, told CNN that fellow officers, quote, felt pressure to approve as few folks as possible for the waiver. She also said that the Muslim ban had been, quote, reworked and sanitized by layers of bureaucracy with people distracted by the next terrible thing. It can be easy to forget it's even happening. Well, it looks like Congress hasn't forgotten. And Madam Chair, I have a signed testimony from 4 former FSOs that I would like to enter into record.
It's put into the record by unanimous consent.
Thank you. Ambassador John Foley, who quit his post as ambassador to Panama in 2018, said he could no longer represent President Trump and still hold true to the value that make this country great.
Yes. On one side, you've got Reps and Ilhan Omar, armed with quotes, headlines, and emotional sound bites from people who chose to resign. On the other side, you've got Edward Ramatowski, 33 years in the State Department, not a politician, not a partisan warrior, just a career professional who knows his job better than any talking point. And right from the start, you can see the strategy. Omar didn't come to learn anything. She came to stage a moment. She came to extract a headline. State Dept admits wrongdoing. Waivers denied unfairly. Policy betrays American values. Whatever she could get. But she didn't get it. The first attempt? She brings up former consular officers claiming they couldn't issue waivers without Washington approval.
Among the policies he listed was the Muslim ban. In the end, how many diplomats and consular officers signed the dissent memo protesting the ban?
I don't have an exact number for you, Congresswoman. I know that some did.
Mm-hmm. Will you be able to get us that number?
I can't guess that number, no.
How do you respond to his claim that the consular officers have to get clear waivers with your office?
I would say, as I said before, that that's not correct. The consular officers make the determination on the first two prongs of the waiver, national interest and undue hardship, and the security check, as I testified, is conducted back here in Washington. Now, if a consular officer is...
So you're saying his claim is false?
Which claim? That Washington is making the decisions?
Yes.
Yes, that's not correct.
And how do you respond to Ms. Gartner's claim that the officers are implicitly or explicitly pressured to deny waivers?
We are not implicitly or explicitly pressuring anyone to act in any way contrary to the law.
Okay. And how do you respond to Ambassador Foley's claim, shared by all the people who signed the memo, that the ban is a betrayal of American values?
The ambassador is certainly entitled to his opinion on that. There are many, obviously it's very clear that this policy has many opponents, but fundamentally it's designed to try to keep the United States safe.
And to our other two panelists, was Stephen Miller's role in formulating the 3 reiterations of the Muslim ban? What was his role?
I'm not aware of any role played by Stephen Miller.
And Ms. Newman?
I was not at the department in January. I did not start until late February.
Okay. And what instructions were DHS and state given from the White House as how to implement the Muslim ban?
I wasn't given any instruction from the White House.
Again, ma'am, I was not at the department in January 2017.
The department was not consulted about the first executive
Approval.
order.
Ramatowski, calm as a surgeon, simply replies, "No, that's not correct. No drama, no apology, just fact." He lays out the real process. Consular officers make the determination, national interest, hardship, and Washington only runs the security checks. That alone took the wind out of her sails. Then came the emotional appeals, quotes from former officers who felt pressured. Again, he didn't bite. He didn't get dragged into debating feelings or politics. He gave a clear legal answer. We are not implicitly or explicitly pressuring anyone to act contrary to the law. That's the moment you realize Omar's argument isn't built on structure or evidence. It's built on sentiment and stories from people no longer in the room. But the biggest moment, the moment that should be replayed everywhere, was the moral trap. The question designed to create a viral clip. Omar asks if the travel ban is a betrayal of American values. That's the kind of question designed to corner a witness into political commentary. If he agrees, he betrays the administration he served under. If he disagrees, he becomes the villain. But he doesn't play her game. He respectfully says the ambassador is entitled to his opinion, but the purpose of the policy was national security. Just like that, he returns the conversation to facts and duty, not political framing. And here's the truth. Whether you support the travel ban or oppose it, whether you like Trump's immigration policy or not, what we saw today was one person trying to score political points and another trying to speak to the actual law, and the latter won. This is why hearings like this matter. This is why we break them down here, on Congress Flash. Because someone needs to highlight the difference between political performance and professional competence. And in this case, competence won. If you're tired of congressional hearings turning into theater instead of truth, make sure you subscribe to Congress Flash, hit that like button, drop your thoughts below, and share this video so more people see what really happened in that room. We've got more breakdowns coming. And trust me, you don't want to miss what's next.